Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you who takes some of your very valuable time and energy and shares with me. Thank you. And as always, family, I pray that these words are received in the spirit that I am striving to deliver them in, which is the spirit of your brother, the spirit of love, and of course, and always in the spirit and in the name of God. And of course, family, I pray that these words find you and your family and your loved ones in the best of your health, your wellness, in the best of your life. And I pray that it is on purpose, because life is on purpose. And when we are living a purposeful life, we are truly living a blessed life. So listen, I have a fun and exciting topic for us today, and it's going into brain games, right? Brain games. And we want to exercise and learn and empower ourselves through ourselves, right? Because we've all heard mind over matter. And when we're looking at that equation, it could seem strange or science fiction because we could think it means mind over matter outside of us. But if we take that equation and we apply it to us, we have my mind over my matter, because we are designed to move the body where we want it to go, how we want it to go, and for how long we want it to go. If we can't, that's not because we don't have control. It's usually a lack of control, a lack of exercise. The God Factory, your brain, neuroscience for the mind of God in you. And as you can see on the picture, they're holding the brain because the brain has power over the body through the central nervous system. We have the brain and the spinal column, which that's the central nervous system. The peripheral nervous system are the neurons that extend and branch off of the spinal column to all of the other parts of the body. This is what gives us control over this. We have control over this, though. This is at our behest. Now, when we're looking at our brain, it's divided into different parts, of course. We have the frontal lobe. This is the executive branch. This is where your on purpose, your thoughts come from. We have the parietal lobe. This is the sensory, where the sensory neurons are at. When you feel your foot itching, this is the part of the brain that's connecting to it. The occipital. This is the vision. It's responsible for our vision. The temporal lobes, if you look, the temporal lobes sit right there where the ear is at. The body is made simplistically on a complex level. Simplistically because as it is, that's how it's made. See how the ears sit there, and this part of the brain is right there. So it automatically becomes responsible for our auditory nerve or hearing, our hearing. Inside, we have the fifth lobe, and this is the insula. This is responsible for our emotional part. When we get into the diencephalon and we get into the amygdala and our hippocampus and our hypothalamus, pituitary glands, all of these are the neurons that are responsible for that is the insula. When we look at that brain, it's great for us to know the anatomy and the physiology of our brain, neuroscience, because they say we only use 10% of our brain. This can only be because I don't know the brain. I can only do what I know. I'm only limited by what I know. If I don't know the brain, if I don't know the thought process, if I don't know my cognitive process, how can I maximize that potential? So I'm limited. That's what we are talking today. Brain games. Listen. So when we look at the brain and we see that those lobes that they have, it's also divided into different hemispheres. The left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. Now, the way we are wired, like I said, is simplistic, but it's complex. The left side controls the right side. Your hearing, your sight, and your movement. Your right side controls your left side, your hearing, sight, movement. So everything on the left side is controlled by the right hemisphere of the brain. Everything on the right side is controlled by the left hemisphere of the brain. Most of us are one hemisphere dominant. So we're looking at why they say we only use 10% and how to use more than 10%. I have to know it in order to use it. The left side is, they say, is responsible for the higher level thoughts, the on purpose thoughts, the calculations. The right side, the intuitive. This is the artistic side. We need to exercise so we can activate both portions of the brain at the same time. We don't want to be one hemisphere dominant. I want to use all of my brain at the same time. So we have to exercise. Most of us, we are right hand or right side dominant. We always are using our right hand. We lead off with our right foot. Everything is right side dominant. So we are only activating and using the left hemisphere of our brain. There's nothing wrong with that, but we are underusing our power. So to exercise and to build up strength, we have to practice. If I'm right-handed predominantly, I want to start practicing leading and using my left hand. I want to be able to do the same things with both hands. So if I'm right-handed, I want to be able to use both of my hands. Now, you could tell I've been practicing. This is why my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, can be legible compared to my dominant hand. It's completely legible. But once we practice, we activate the totality of our brain. And now we get to experience that energy and that power elevation that allows us to control the rest of our body. Because this is the control center. Everything that we can have that's going on in our body, it has a control center right here. A circuit, if you will, right? Right here. When we aren't controlling the body here, that means we're being led from the body down. And this is where we can become and get into trouble. Because when we aren't leading from the brain down, we are being reactionary. When we are being led from the signals from the body, we are being reactionary. And this, the main culprit, is because I don't know my brain. I don't know my thought process. I don't know the cognitive process. I don't understand that it's my mind over my matter. So I don't practice. I don't practice gaining control over myself. If you go and you take, for instance, if you go and you pinch your hand, you know how some you see in those movies, in those situations where they be like, pinch me to see if I'm still up, right? So if you pinch yourself, the same way you can feel that pinch, those are efferent neurons, A-F-F-E-R-E-N-T. Efferent neurons that are sending that signal from the site where you pinched it to your spinal column, to your brain, to the parietal lobe, where that neuron sits at that coordinates that hand. Now, it's not just a one-way street. The same way we have those efferent, AFFERENT neuron pathways that has an effect on your body. That's the reactionary stage. We have efferent neurons, EFFERENT, that has an effect on. So now, not only can I receive a signal, but I can send a signal. But if I never exercise my brain, if I never practice controlling my mind over my matter, I might not never be able to achieve it. And I might find myself going through something internally. This is not something that I'm going through at my job or within a relationship, but I'm going through something on a health and wellness perspective. I'm going through something on a spiritual, emotional, mental perspective. And I'm stuck. I don't know how to get myself from there. From a physiological perspective, and physiology is the movement of our parts. If you stop moving, there are no electrical sparks. There are no action potentials. The central nervous system is not sending a signal, so there's no body movement. When you go to pick your arm up, that's an electrical spark coming from the part of the brain that controls your arm, down your spinal column, to those peripheral neurons, to your arms that give you the ability to move it. That's just what you can see. So when you looking at things that's inside of us that we can't, our 10th cranial nerve is called the vagus nerve. And vagus means to wander because it wanders from the brainstem all the way down, touching your heart, lungs, liver, pancreas, your spleen, your kidneys, your small intestine, large intestines, and the reproductive organs that give you instant control. Gives us instant control over all of these parts. This is our 10th cranial nerve. So the point of this video, brain games, taking you into the God factory, your brain, and looking at some neuroscience for the mind of God in you. And we show just what I'm talking about in this video. We learn how the brain works. Why? So I can use more than 10% of my brain. Why? So I can make myself healed, healthy, strong, so I can enjoy abundant life, and I can take my brain and I can create my heaven and I can set myself in it at once. I can take, because, and I'm saying this because from the perspective of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we learned that heaven and hell are conditions of the mind. And the conditions of my mind determine the conditions of my physical environment. Right? So if the condition of my mind dictates and manifests through my physical reality, if I control my brain, I control heaven and hell. I control the conditions of my life. So no matter where I'm at right now, listen, no matter where you are at right now, this is your opportunity to take your mind and take the control over your matter and put yourself right where you need to be. Even if it's one of these organs right here that you can't see and that your doctor is telling you that you need an herb, a supplement, a medicine, or a food for. When you have a control center that gives you control over everything. Here's the pathway. Here is your pathway. This is your highway that gives you control over everything. I just want to show you how. I just want to show us how. Right? So, of course, the God Factory. Your Brain Neuroscience for the Mind of God and You. Available on Amazon. And I do believe Amazon has them on sale right now for Black History Month. Right? And, or you could contact us and you could get them directly from us. But these are the science books that allow us to break that threshold of only using 10% of our brain. Because it teaches us anatomy of the brain, the neuroscience. It teaches us the physiology of the brain. So now that I know this, all of that mystery and spookism is removed. Because I know that I got control over me. It's my mind over my matter. As we are created. This is how God created us. It's not nothing special. This is our operating manual, if you will. So family, I just wanted to come with this brief, fun, exciting message and to let us know that when they say anything is possible, when they say that we are only limited by what we know, that's true. And I want to break those thresholds. Let us now know abundant life. Let us now know how to heal ourselves. Let us now know how to create our heaven and set ourselves in it at once. That sounds fun. And I've made it easy. Right? So look, I thank you all for tuning in, family. I appreciate you sharing some of your very valuable time and energy. And I leave you as I came in the greeting words of peace. I say, Namaste Hotel. Power to the people. Salam alaikum. Peace.